off all these siege tanks now. Those drones really desperately trying to run for their lives. There's Wednesday Night
vVv Gaming. So have a ZBT here, and Starkad, the new player on vVv's roster, coming in here, going to try to stop the bleeding a little bit. T-Gun already taken one game off vVv, and we do have its Gosu up 1-0 on Wednesday Night Starcraft, so we'll see what the new player in Starkad has to offer for us here.
Yeah, so T-Gun is going to be spawning as the pink Zerg. Meanwhile, Starkad spawning as the green Terran. Starkad spawning at the 9 o'clock location. Chocolate milk is awesome. I cannot disagree with that. I know my daughter absolutely loves her chocolate milk right now, and it's a very good way to make sure that your children actually get plenty of calcium. But then again, I'm sure most of our viewers out there don't have children. Anyways, T-Gun spawning as the pink Zerg at the 6 o'clock location, and this will be close by air spawns. How do you think that this will affect the course of the game?
Well, I mean, this is really a map that I don't like playing ZBT on all that much. A third base can be difficult to take, and that small choke that you have to defend in your natural can be difficult as well. It's still big enough that Hellions can come in. You have to defend a decent amount of area, but they can also line up tanks in the gold and sort of siege you there. So, a third's pretty difficult, and once the Terran gets on that gold base, and that base up in the corner can be very difficult to, sort of break them. So we'll see. This was Starkad's choice of map, so I'm sure as a Terran player, he's feeling very comfortable here, and we'll see what he has.
Yeah, Starkad now setting up that standard 12 racks. That drone going to come over, try to do a bit of harassment, but that SCV just in the right spot, making sure that he can't get attacked by that drone there. And now pretty much the drone going to see everything he wants to see. He sees the early gas going into play. He knows that he doesn't have to really deal with early double racks pressure that you normally see when you're playing against Rough, as now SCVs are battling it out, and the SCV may get taken down if he's not careful here. And yes, it does get taken down, so a little bit of a misstep by Starkad, and T-Gun with the first blood.
Yeah, already losing an SCV, really can't afford to give away units, and this is something that maybe a little bit of nerves playing on Wednesday Night Starcraft here, and playing up against a pretty good player in T-Gun, who we saw take out Titan in game 1. And now Starkad, a lot of Terran players throw down that really fast supply depot to wall off there, but I feel like T-Gun sent out such a fast scout. In this matchup, typically don't have a scout that quickly, but he was able to get a lot of good information. He was able to see that one gas has started, and now he's stealing the other gas. So this is really going to limit the builds that Starkad can do.
Yeah, Starkad at this point, all they can really do is perhaps add a tech lab, or perhaps go for a factory and just get some Hellions. He's not going to really be able to train up that many, perhaps getting a reactor, but he is still harvesting gas at this stage. So it looks like he still wants that gas for some reason. And is he getting that reactor? Yes, he is. So there will be double Hellion pressure, but this is something that T-Gun, I'm sure, is well aware of and will know how to deal with, as we now see an SCV coming in from Starkad, just wandering around on the inside of the base, taking a look around, sees that gas is being harvested. So T-Gun is most likely going to have metabolic boost in just a moment, as 2 queens are going to be added to this army. And now T-Gun should be able to just get a lot of drones into this late early game.
Now T-Gun has been canceling this extractor and starting it over again, and I believe you need 3 Marines to take down an extractor or to out DPS it as it builds. And because Starkad was making a reactor on that barracks so that he could land his factory there, he wasn't actually able to come out with a 3rd Marine. So his 2 Marines here have been shooting that extractor for what seems like a few minutes now, and T-Gun just continues to cancel it, finally letting it finish there. I'm not sure whether that was on purpose or a mistake, but really denying that second gas from Starkad. And now Starkad is going to be starting that command center, so going for a Hellion expand here, a very, very popular build in the current metagame.
Yeah, so Starkad going to have 2 Hellions, but you can already see the Spine Crawler being added by T-Gun. So 1 Spine Crawler on the front door. Spine Crawlers deal 25 damage to those poor Hellions. But then again, the Hellions are very, very cheap, very effective splash damage units early on, as the drones, many drones have been burnt to a crisp, and I guess can no longer testify to it, but we have all seen it in action.
You can tell you're a Terran player when you describe Hellions as poor, poor Hellions.
I'm sorry, is my Terran showing?
It might be a little bit. So T-Gun's going to have to try to figure out how many Hellions are coming, whether it's going to be 2, 4, 6, whether Starkad's going to actually stop production here. It looks like he has for the moment, in favor of expanding and adding some more racks onto that reactor, and a sacrificial overlord going in there for T-Gun. So he's able to see, it looks like at least that expansion, and these 4 Hellions going to do their best to deny creep spread here for T-Gun. And T-Gun going to try to sneak in some creep tumors here whenever he can, but should be pretty safe with this wall off. He's got double evolution chambers. He's got that one poor spine crawler, and he's got these 2 queens here as well.
Yeah, and what I like about T-Gun and what his build is here is that he has a creep tumor on the low ground, so creep is actually starting to spread, and Starkad can't really do much to stop it. T-Gun should be able to let this creep tumor move out and move across over here in just a moment, and that is going to affect just how much creep is spread out. Starkad trying to stop it, but there's not much that he can really do in order to prevent T-Gun from spreading this creep, as the creep tumors are just all on the high ground and he doesn't have sight up there.
Yeah, so here's the trouble for Zerg at this point, is he's having trouble spreading creep a little bit, and he's going to have to try to break out of here. We'll see whether he's able to get a surround on these Hellions. These 4 Hellions doing their best to stay off of that creep so they can't be surrounded, but T-Gun really wants to take a 3rd expansion at this point. Most Zergs would to stay 1 base ahead of the Terran player. Instead, he's almost forced to sort of tech up. He's going for a lair tech, and he has only got just 2 extractors, and he's also getting 1-1 upgrades. I really like both those plays at this point. 1-1 going to make any sort of tank marine push a lot weaker as we move into the mid game here, and we do have maybe a surround on these Hellions. We'll see whether he's able to get them, and he's not able to.
Yeah, unable to get them. The Hellions are going to be able to retreat and regroup, perhaps get a nice line of fire. Once again, one poor Zergling going to get toasted. I mean, traveling a little bit too close to that Zelnaga tower as the creep tumors are continuing to be laid down, and now the Hellions need to drive away once again. This is not good news for them as the Hellions, getting a nice line shot there, another nice line shot, and that splash damage really starting to eat through a lot of those Zerglings, and it looks like Starkad should be able to come out slightly ahead with those Hellions, only losing 2, and now 1 Hellion down to 3 hit points. It needs to go back to the auto repair shop, and will it be able to make it home? No, it will not, as Starkad didn't drive home early enough.
Yes, so many Zerglings went down there, and it forced out about another 20 Zerglings from T-Gun, so those are drones he wanted to be making here. Right now, he only has 39 Harvesters, so he does not have full saturation on his 2 bases, so a win there for the Terran player. Starkad, some pretty nice micro there with the Hellions, and now here comes this Marine tank push I was talking about. And the fact that 1-1 is finished is going to make these Lings very terrifying. If Starkad doesn't micro this, doesn't get in good siege position, perfectly, the 1-1 Lings are just going to chew apart these tanks and Marines. The Marines do have stim as well. Siege tech is finished, so this is going to be Starkad's chance. We'll see what he's able to do with his micro and the tank positioning.
Yeah, what's really important is that with that 1 additional armor, siege tanks cannot one-shot any of those Zerglings. So they are going to take 2 shots, and that's essentially 100% increase in life or the amount of damage that they are needed to take. The Marines are there to try to finish off the Zerglings, as now the Zerglings are swarming in. Here you go, in comes a Queen as well. Zerglings are trying to surround and finish off some siege tanks. This is not good news, as the Marines are just completely out of position. There are a new group of Marines and siege tanks over here, as the Zerglings are just going to peck this apart, and T-Gun doing a great job just using Zerglings to finish off all those Marines and tanks.
1-1 is so good. Sometimes it doesn't finish if they go straight for Marine tank right off the start, but the fact that Starkad went for the Hellions first, and the quick expansion really delayed his gas, the stim, and the siege tech, and 1-1 was able to finish. Heck, 2-2 is almost finished for T-Gun as well, and you're able to defend those types of pushes with just Ling. So a win there for T-Gun. He is now taking down the destructible rocks at the gold. He's already established his 3rd over in the corner here, and he's working on the rocks in the northern position so that he can get a run-in on any 3rd that Starkad tries to put in the northwest position.
Yeah, now you can see Starkad trying to do something a little bit different, he knows that he's behind. He knows that he needs to deal damage, and he's going to come in with a 7 Marine drop from this medevac, but it's most likely will get spotted by the great Overlord placement of T-Gun. And now, as soon as those Marines fall down, I believe a swarm of Zerglings will be just running back home, and in come the Marines. The Marines going to get 1 drone kill. That is it so far. Now trying to go after even more units, perhaps taking down the Queen. The Queen is perhaps the easiest target, and now picking them all back up after the Queen does get taken down.
And I really like this play from Starkad. If a player goes for mass ling and upgrades on the ground, they typically delay mutas a little bit, and the response is to drop all over the place. And now we see T-Gun responding well, leaving a few lings in his main, leaving a few lings out in the center of the map. So this is what you have to do. We see Stefano defending drops with just lings. You have to split them up. And Starkad basically forcing that with just the 1 drop. So if he does any sort of push here, he might be able to go through the front because the lings are really spread out. And we see another drop coming in here, but now T-Gun going to be able to defend this with these lings. As these Marines drop down, they're going to be taken down 1 by 1, and the Queen focusing down the medevac. Nice play by T-Gun.
Yeah, nice play by T-Gun, and just finishing off those Marines. Good map awareness, and that Overlord spread is so good as the Zerglings are now pecking away at the command center on the top left-hand side. Starkad has not canceled the upgrade. He has finally lifting it off there. Marines need to come in to finish this off here, but the Zerglings have delayed this expansion and are going to force it to be repaired. And that is just really important, as Starkad cannot afford to lose any precious mining time. He needs to bring over SCVs to repair that 1 command center, as Zerglings now make their way into the midfield, perhaps to do another runaround.
And we are 15 minutes into this game. T-Gun is on 4, almost 5 bases, and guess how many gas he has? He's got 2 extractors. He's used so little gas. All he's basically spent gas on is upgrading to Lair and now his Hive, and then also getting those upgrades for Zergling. So he's not going in Festers, he's not going for Mutas, just spending gas on teching quickly and upgrades. And he's been able to defend everything Starkad has thrown at him. Another drop, doing nothing there, and pretty soon he's going to be on tier 3, going for just adrenal glands right off the bat here. I have yet to see whether he's going for any sort of Greater Spire or Ultralisk Cavern, but he is getting 3-3 as well. Might just be going here for mass lings.
Yeah, I think this would be the first time we've only seen mass lings ever used in a game. But this strategy by T-Gun has worked out really well for him. When you go mass 1 units, all of your upgrades are obviously effective, as the Zerglings now surrounding the Marines over here. The Siege Tanks do not have weapons upgrade, so they are not able to one-shot any of those Zerglings, as the Zerglings are going to swarm in and now come in from behind once more.
Yeah, and T-Gun just doing work here with these Zerglings. If we check it out, he's got 135 Zerglings, he's got 80 drones against the 56 SCVs and just 28 Marines for Starkad. So, as you mentioned, Starkad does not have that all-important level 1 weapons upgrade for the Siege Tank. So, he really needs to get on his horse and start upgrading there. And then he really needs to get his Marine upgrades going as well. He's just 1-0, and T-Gun about to be 3-3. He's starting the Ultralisk Cavern. We'll see whether he's added any other gas. Looks like he's just still working off 2 gas, and he's banked a lot of gas for these Ultralisks. He's going to be able to come out with 4 or 5 right off the bat and doing a nice job. Starkad really just needs to drop everywhere. Take advantage of the lack of mutas and air control. We see a drop in the main. How much damage we'll be able to do. Starkad really needs to do a ton of damage with these drops. Yeah,
this drop, only 4 Marines though. Not quite sure what's going on. Apparently the Marines are just on hiatus, taking a look around, seeing some drones. Not going to really do much at all. As there we finally go. In come the Marines, going to take down 1 drone, 2 drones. Zerglings now coming in. The Zerglings are, I believe, 2-2 upgraded, as the Marines are going to get shot out of the sky there by the help of the Queens.
And another run in here at the north, and this is just a ton of lings. This is probably close to 80 lings here, running in, getting a very good surround on these Marines. The Marines evaporate instantly, and now this might be GG. Starkad going to lose the majority of his SCVs. He's got nothing to stop. He's going to move up here with his army, but siege mode is not yet set up. And a great surround here by T-Gun right before siege mode gets initiated, and he's going to be able to take down this entire force. He's got 4 ultras, 60 lings on the way. There's the GG from Starkad.